Larry, we're here.
We're finally here.
You see what happens, how I lose it if Taylor's not here. What goes on? You guys think I'm Mr. Perfect here, man. I go berserk, okay?
We're all having a party in the other room without you.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut this out on my phone over here. And now I think we're ready to go. Is that correct?
We're good to go. The girls are waiting, yes. So everybody's good to go.
Okay, well, listen, thank you all so very, very much for being with us today. To say that we're starting off the very last month of the year, December, with this broadcast, to be able to get set up for what's going to be happening the first quarter of 22. It's just really something very exciting for Taylor and I and everybody in the community. And definitely appreciate you guys being here. Taylor is not with us today. She's on a very special women's retreat. Okay, well deserved after she nursed me back to health here with COVID. Took about almost a month, but she is there. She may be sneaking in. If I know her, she'll sneak in. Okay, she can't possibly stay away. I know that part. Anyway, guys, let me tell you a couple things that's happening here. Mary and Seamus are going to be our special guest here tonight. I guess it's tonight and today for around the globe here, and going to share with you some growth statistics, concepts, not statistics, but concepts of what's happened to them since we started this whole process. And Mary and Seamus started with us in June of last year. Now, you got to understand something. We're talking about how to be a gig worker. That's what our process is. We're the LT Academy, okay? And a lot of people now are out there beating the drums about the gig world, okay? You can see it, you can hear it, taste it, and smell it. This is not something new for us, okay? If there's one thing that's happened for me, and I don't know why this is, but I have been blessed with being able to identify the current audience, language, and behavior of what's in front of us in our space and be able to address that audience with the proper language, that creates the proper behavior. And, quite frankly, I'm very happy with it. Don't know why I got that special gift, but I do. And it has definitely created a lot of success. 2 top 10 companies and over $1 billion. But this year they're going to be having 2 of them. One of them's going to be coming in with over $2 billion. One with over $5 billion worth of sale this year of everyday people. I'm talking about school teachers, and I am talking about carpenter. I am talking about the long hair hippie, and I am talking about the lady truck driver and the waitress, to be able to identify this and move forward. But this gig audience that we've identified, the language that they speak, the behavior that we want to create is not new for us. We had the first gig summit in 2019 that the world's ever experienced, okay? We had it. John Fleming was there with us. A lot of you were there with us. We had it here in Dallas, Texas, and said, here's what's happening in the future. Now, you got to realize everybody in our space was believing that everything was wonderful. We got social media. We got artificial intelligence. We got this Mr. CEO, and we got Mrs. Master Distributor. We got all of that, and this is happening. That's not the case, guys. Okay, our space took a big jump from about 2012 to 2015 because of social media. It did. But those basic fundamentals were not a part of who we are and what we do here as far as building the community, especially audience, language, and behavior. And we saw a decline. A decline, that's a Texas phrase, a decline, okay? A decline, okay? But a decline in our space from 2015 to 2020. Now, we had this decline. Now, you say, well, what happened? It's back again. No, that 2020 was artificial stimulation that was not part of any basic fundamentals. And we had companies go up in 2020. We had distributors base come up. And let me tell you something. We addressed this, okay, at the beginning of 2020, before the lockdowns. Before that, we said you're going to see an artificial spike. And that best, you're going to have a new baseline of checks. You're going to have a new baseline of growth in your companies. But you got to pay attention to audience, language, and behavior. The world has changed out there in our space. And the first time that this happened to me, this dramatic change, was in 1980 when we started Herbalife. There was a pandemic type of environment. You hear these newscasters talk about, we haven't seen anything like this since the end of the 70s. Well, we haven't. Okay, there was a change in the world at the end of the 70s. No need to get into that history lesson, but there was a big one. But we identified audience language and behavior, and boom, we hit it. And that's what's taking place. Now, Mary and Seamus, Mary is a school teacher, okay, and Seamus is a carpenter, okay, not any different than most of you out there as far as their background, their education, and their life's experience. And we put a focus group together with them back in June 20. Was it 20 or 19?
2019.
2019. Now listen to this. Okay, we saw it coming. We saw it coming. And I went to Jeff Roberti and said, hey, listen, I would like to be able for you to focus there and give us a couple of teams here that we can work with and see, put this thing together. 2019 in June. And we start talking about the stuff that you know that we talk about here all the time. We did not have the Academy the way it is right now, not even close. We did not have the book at all, okay? We did not have the book. We did not have clubbing with Larry and Taylor on every Friday. And that really is designed to introduce new people to say, hey, pay attention here. There's something happening here. And if you pay attention and you look at it here and implement some of the stuff, it's going to make a difference. We didn't have that. We didn't have that Friday book clubbing with Larry and Taylor, which is a form of an introduction to what we do. We went to Mary Seamus, and in June of 19, we put together a focus group without that stuff. And we had a model that I know this model works because I've used it too many times in almost 54 years now. And this starting with a small group. The mistake that I made it in the past, and I see people and companies make it, distributors make it all the time. They get some new idea and they go take it to their whole team and say, oh my goodness, we now have artificial intelligence. That's the thing that seems to be the buzzword today, okay? Oh my goodness, and we got this new product coming and we got this new Black Friday thing that's going on, okay? I think it's Black Friday, whatever it is. It wasn't all of that stuff works, guys, okay? But it's not built on fundamentals, a basic daily method of operation where you grow the long-haired hippie into these skill levels, where you take the single mom, like Taylor, to be able to grow this, like the lady truck driver and the waitress, okay? It wasn't built on that. So it has to have a leveling off point at that. You've got to build on the fundamentals. Now, when you add those stuff like artificial intelligence, when you add those things like the current craziness is Black Friday, that's no different than the stimulation that came in 2020 because of what was going on in the world. There's no difference there. But Mary and Seamus put together a very small group. I don't remember exactly what the numbers are. Maybe they'll share those. And was it 5 people we started with? Oh my goodness. Okay. This is even more amazing. And we started working with them, talking about the gig workers. We started talking to them about audience language and behavior with these 5 people. And we were working with them on a weekly basis because we had to. Okay. You got to also understand during that weekly process of us working with them, we are getting feedback from them and we're getting experience back from them. And we are learning ourselves how to deal with that audience language and behavior and be able to guide and direct. And they'll tell you their story, okay, and what took place. But I want you to think about this. No book, no Club Fridays here, clubbing here. Academy, not the way it is today. No lockdowns, not anything. And we took this thing and we put it into action, and it was just absolutely amazing. And I want to turn it over to them now and let them tell you this because they've added a new dimension. And they'd had this thing added here about a little over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. They'll share that with you. And I didn't even know they did it. I said, whoa, man, it kind of freaked me out because I wouldn't have had the courage to do what they did because I wasn't sure of it. You know what I mean? I said, really? They're doing that? And how is that working? Especially when you start talking about these moms, okay, on mission, that was that it was an 80% group. We talking about 80, 15, and 5. Okay. If you don't know that, you have to go in there and get that. But they were almost all 80%ers. What has happened after about 75 days of going out there with this thing? Okay, it reminds me of about 75 days of my El Paso story. Okay, and if you don't know El Paso, you're going to have to pick that up because we're going to be talking about El Paso a lot. But I was 75 days in El Paso where I was lost. I was scared. I couldn't sleep at night. It was hard to even breathe, man, because I was so scared. This goes back 54 years ago, started in my 6th month of being in the business. And it was just scary. It was frightening. But after about 75 days, it started to catch on. And then they started doing this exercise. They started their own book club, okay, where they started reading out of the book. And they started with a handful of people. They'll tell you how many. I don't know what it was. And look what's happened since then. That's the model that I've always used, okay, and it works. We're starting a new model, okay, and we're going to start it on the 7th, just next Tuesday, okay. We're going to El Paso together. We call it the El Paso Experience, and we're inviting all of you to come along with us that want to come along, and we'll talk about that at the end of the broadcast, and we're going to be working with all of you guys, that small group of people, through December, January, February, and March, almost on a weekly basis, guiding you through the audience language and behavior and learning how to pick up that briefcase of skills, of attitude, employ yourself, Sinaloa, okay, shake every grain of sand from your shoes, fix the film and the projector, all the stuff that's built this thing. So I'm now going to 2 incredible people, okay, my school teacher and my carpenter here. And they're going to share with you some things. I want you guys to pay really close attention to it and listen to the team. You're going to have some testimonials from their team. So listen to that today about what's happened with their 6 a.m. reading of the book, okay, every single day, and how that's led them to a huge, not 5, but several people that's going to be part of this El Paso experience. So Mary and Seamus, I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Have at it. You got the mic and you got the floor, and talk about whatever you want.
Absolutely incredible, Larry. And it's such an honor to be here with you all tonight. I am so excited and really, really, really looking forward to sharing with you some things that are working for us. I've got no idea if it will work for you like it has worked for us, but all I will say is we are so excited about ending this year stronger than we have ever ended any year in our career so far, and really taking things to a whole new level in 2022. So like Larry said, I was a school teacher. I was a school teacher for 8 years, loved my job. And we decided to come into this industry out of desperation, basically, like most people. We really were in a situation where financially we were not in a good place, but we weren't aware that there were ways that you could generate an extra income around your current life circumstances. And when this industry was presented to us, I immediately said no out of pure ignorance, because I wasn't aware of it. I had my own ideas of what it may be, but I always remember what was said to me. And this is a line that I use many times myself because I think it's so effective. And it was, you must be one of the lucky ones that doesn't need an extra income. So I'd like you to think about that tonight. Like, are you one of the lucky ones that doesn't need an extra income? And if you are lucky enough to be that person, then amazing. The money is one thing that this business can bring, but there's a complete other element that we don't talk enough about, and that is community. And that is what I feel is really unique and really special, and a real gift that we have to offer people out there today. Do you want to?
Yeah, and as Mary says, like my background, I was a carpenter. I had my own business, and I think in the previous sort of recession that we had, not the lockdown, but the 2008, the global crash, it's when I lost my business. I had to restructure, look at a lot of the things that I was actually doing, close down the business. And I think we were probably at a stage in our life in desperation. We were looking for something that could bridge that gap between what we needed to sort of cover the cost of the bills, because it doesn't really matter if you're earning $3,000 a month, but if your outgoings are $5,000 a month, that's the situation we were in, and we were in desperate need of something. And probably network marketing came into our lives at the perfect sort of time, because the bank definitely wasn't going to give me a loan so I could start another business because I had such bad credit history. And network marketing, the entry fee is so low. And one thing that we did have was a real desire level and a working ethic, which was incredible. And it helped get us out of that debt. And think when we first met Larry, we decided to start working with him, like we had built up a really successful business. We had reached one of the top positions in our company. So we had a lot of success in our company. but we were sort of stagnant. It was like, well, I don't know what we need to do next, because we were starting to kind of get burnt out. We were always kind of like up, and then it was coming down, and it was up, and it was kind of coming down. And I'll know, well, probably a lot of people who are in the industry, you can probably relate with that. That when you're business, you work really, really hard and it gets up. And then if you take the foot off the gas, it starts to drop down again, because we didn't really understand the industry. We didn't understand the fundamentals that Larry and then was talking about. And when we heard the stuff that he was sharing with us, we thought, oh my God, this makes so much sense. But it nearly sounded too simple. And we were like, can it really work?
And one thing that Taylor always talks about is simplicity is a strategy. And that is what I love about what you learn when you really immerse yourself in the academy, in the book club, in the ABC approach. And Larry mentioned that we started off a focus group 18 months ago with 5 people. And he mentioned the, 80%ers. We were 80%ers when we joined this industry. And in my opinion, most of us are, because we don't have self-belief and we don't really know what it's going to take. But belief, as Taylor always says, belief determines behavior. So when we started having a little bit of success, our belief started to grow. So we started to see a bigger picture. But the one thing that I want you to realize is that the people that you see today is very different to who we were a number of years ago. So long as we're in the same book, we all can be in a different chapter. And some of you will have much more skills. You'll have a much larger network. You'll have maybe more time than we had when we started, but none of that matters. What matters is your willingness to learn and your desire. And that is something that you can't teach, but there is a place for everyone within this community. And like Seamus said, when we started, our business was in momentum. It wasn't that it was, falling back, but we were exhausted and we didn't know how we could simplify things. We have done lots of different courses. We've had some great coaches, but everything seemed to be getting more and more complicated. And
there was always a new sort of tactic coming out for social media that you felt like you had to do this course and you had to do that course to try and keep on top of it. And after a while, it gets a little bit sort of frustrating, because you think, do I have to keep doing this all the time?
And I don't know about you, but we started this business with the goal of earning an extra 200 euros. Very quickly that changed. But what was happening was we were earning good money, but we were spending a lot of time on our business. So when you're talking to someone, then it's a very different conversation that you're having, because we used to nearly wear it as a badge of honor. We're working so hard and this is what you need to do to build a business. But that's not attractive to people. That's not the gig economy. People want to be able to switch it on and switch it off. Like, I never would have joined if I had have thought that I had to work a certain amount of hours and I had to do all of this and all of that. I joined because I thought it was simple. I thought, yeah, you know what? I was hopeful that I could do it. But I think over the course, and I can only talk about our own journey, over the course of the years that we've been in the industry, we started to think that we needed to become more professional. We needed to be the experts in everything, because when you have a team, you think you need to know everything. But one of my greatest and my favorite sayings is, I've got no idea about that. All I know is this is what I do. And that has saved us hours and hours of time, but that didn't come easily. So
especially if you've been to like a conference, if you've been to one of your company conferences, and especially if you're in the nutrition industry like we are, and you maybe hear a doctor up on stage and you think, I need to know all this stuff. So the next time you go back to do a training, or the next time you go to talk to a prospect, you just leash on them. You give all this information that the doctor has given you. And what we were finding was then when people would come back, well, I couldn't do what you do.
Yeah.
Because they were probably thinking, I needed to be an expert in the nutrition. I needed to know all of this stuff. And it definitely did start to slow us down.
Yeah. And we felt like it was a weakness to say to our team, if they were asking us a question, oh, I don't know about that. All I know is I do my job description essentially every day. Like, I felt that was a weakness. I felt that I would lose the respect of my team, when in fact, I gained the respect of my team because I helped them realize that you don't need to know that. All you need to know is, how do you get customers and how do you get team members? How do you do that? By doing your job description each and every day. So by us stripping it back, and that did not come easy. About 75 days in, we weren't really seeing the results. And Larry, whenever we started, he was so confident that the results were going to come, but we weren't seeing them. And I'll be honest, I'll never forget the phone call I had with him. I was sitting on our bed, and it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me. And I remember thinking, have I made the biggest mistake? Have I just completely like taken our team in a whole different path? And is this going to actually work? Maybe this is out of date. Maybe this isn't, what's going to take us to the next level. But I am so grateful, so grateful that Larry and Taylor stood by us, but that something inside of me kept saying, just believe, Mary, just keep doing what he's telling you. And I love that they give you tough love. They're not going to tell you that you're amazing and what you would like to hear. They'll tell you the truth. And there's very few people out there that will tell you the honest truth. And the reason that they'll tell you that is because they want you to do better.
And the thing is, we had to unlearn a lot of the things that we had brought when we met Larry and Taylor. We had so much to actually unlearn, because they always say you can't add more to a full cup. We had a full cup. We thought we kind of knew everything that we needed to know. And then Larry and Taylor stripped everything back. They told, get rid of all that, get rid of all this. And we started to have to unlearn all that and start to do brand new things. And I think that's probably one of the parts that slowed us down at the start, was having to relearn everything, because it nearly seemed so simple. From we were using all the different tactics for the social media and all of that stuff that was really, really technical. When we started to do the stuff with Larry and Taylor, you're kind of like, is this it? Are you sure this is it? But we stuck it out, because Larry and Taylor says, give it 90 days. You've got to give it 90 days for this stuff to really start to work.
So we went, and this to me is everything. We went from building a business to building people. And that is one of the greatest gifts that they've given us, because not everybody can build a business. But when you build people, everyone can build a business.
And it's like the way we were building in the past was we would build people up, but then as soon as you would step away from them, things would start to slow down again. Because as Mary says, we weren't building them up. We weren't making them independent. But what Larry and Taylor taught us was those people became independent automatically. You could see them. People were joining the academy. People were joining the book club without us even mentioning it to them.
And we have people that have stood by us from the very start, that have been, in our team from very early on. And they've stayed because they love the product, they love the company. And they're like, we're in the business of hope. That's what I believe we really sell, is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And this is what Larry and Taylor will give you if and only if you're willing to go all in. And all of a sudden, it didn't happen overnight. These incredible ladies who had success but still weren't reaching the heights that they deserved, and I knew they were capable of, started to believe in themselves, started to step up, and they were like roses. So if you're watching a rose, you don't notice it blooming, but all of a sudden you look and it's like, oh my goodness, this is the most beautiful flower in the world. That is exactly what happened to our team. And like I said, it didn't happen in the first 30 days. It didn't even completely happen in the first 90 days. We really seen a difference. So in the September, we had a big uplift in our team. But come the January, that's when everything changed for us. So from June to January, and we had so much growth. So it was in my business that we really focused on. So we've got two businesses, and my business went from it basically grew by 1,000%. And the most incredible thing and the most exciting thing is the stability of what we have.
And it hasn't fallen back.
And we decided then that, okay, we've got lots of people in the academy. We've got, people are doing so well. People are loving what they're doing. Because when you're new, you can be excited and you can fall in love with it. And it's easy to show up when everything's going well. It's a different story when you're watching other people have success and you're thinking, what's wrong with me? Why is it not working for me? But that is so easily fixed if you start doing your job description, but no one teaches that. No one actually tells you that how you actually get back on the horse is by doing your job description. And I would almost bet my life there's people that are listening that are thinking, well, what is my job description? Your job description is to onboard customers and onboard team members. How do you do that? Use Talk Demo. You use your products, you talk about what it's doing for you, because remember, the most powerful tool that you will ever have is your story. And there was nobody better than Taylor to teach you how to package your story.
And the thing
is,
is,
share other people's stories.
And the thing is, for us, we have never had multiplication in our business. It's always been people have joined our team, and we probably had something to do with it. We were either on like a 3-way call, we were on a Zoom call with our teams. We never had people just automatically just joining our business without us even knowing about it, because it was always like that little bit of extra effort you had to go through to try and get people to join your business. Because sometimes what can happen is your leaders feel like maybe they're not good enough to bring people in themselves. But everything that our team started to learn in the academy, they started to feel good enough about themselves. They started, as Larry says, they were good enough just as the way they are.
They were tall enough.
They were tall enough, and they were automatically going out and recruiting and bringing in people. And the people they were recruiting were automatically going out and doing it because there was no hurdles in the way to stop them from starting to grow their business.
So how did the book club come along? And we could talk to you all night. Like literally, we could be here for hours and hours and hours. But I know for me, accountability is a big thing. So whenever I'm thinking about something, I'm thinking, if I was in this situation, how could I get the most out of it? And I love this book. Like if you do not have it, guys, go on to Amazon, make sure that you order it for yourself. And if you've got team, this is an amazing Christmas present to buy your team. Like, it's the greatest gift. This will help transform lives and transform businesses, this book by itself. And
the thing is about this book, it's not even just reading it once. It's about reading it over and over and over and over. Like, we are reading this probably this is on our 10th time to go through the book, because every time we read it, we're different.
Yes.
We take in so much different the next time we read it, because our awareness has actually grown. So we hear things the 10th time in this book that we didn't hear in the 5th time or the first time, because we've started to grow.
So I've always been a huge advocate of a morning routine. I think it's really, really, really important. And you've got two groups of people. You have people who absolutely love their morning routine as well. And then you've the group of people like Seamus, who thought I was crazy, who would hit the snooze button and was like, I am not getting up he used to think it was the middle of the night when I got up. But success leaves clues. And I love to study successful people. I love, watching documentaries about them. I love thinking, like, how does their mind tick? And one of the things that I, realized was they all get up and, have a morning routine to own the day. So I've had a morning routine for years and years and years. And I do think it's one of the most powerful things that we ever implemented ourselves. But I knew, like, I could say to people, okay, get up and do a morning routine yourself. But the reality is most of us won't do it by ourselves.
We all know people will take the path of least resistance.
Yes.
So we will tell people to go and read the book, and some of them might open it up and they might get through the first 10 pages and then it'll be put on the shelf. So we knew people needed accountability, just like we need accountability.
Yes. So we decided in August, and some people, may think, oh my God, August, why would you start something in August? But when is the perfect time? When is it ever going to be the perfect opportunity? Some people will decide, like, for instance, with their business, oh, I'm not going to do anything in December. I'll wait till January. No, why would you wait? Like, tomorrow's not guaranteed to any of us. So when you get an idea, you've got to act on it. So we decided on a Sunday morning, I put a post into our team group and I said, okay, guys, I've got a new idea, but there is some requirements. And we're going to start a 6 a.m. book club, but we need 20 people to commit. So that was the first time that we've ever put anything like that in place. Normally we would just say, okay, we're going to do this, and whoever comes on. But the morning routine was so sacred to me that I wanted to make sure that we got people who were really keen. And like Larry said, we used to go to our team with everything before we tried it ourselves.
And it was all theory.
It was all theory. So we thought, if we get 20 people, great. We couldn't believe it. The first morning we had over 20 people. And it has grown and grown and grown since then. And we have well over 50 people every morning. Monday to Friday, we do it 6 a.m. And these, like, you will see moms that have their babies in the bed with them that would not miss this. And we're not going to talk anymore about how the difference that we have seen, because we want you to hear from two incredible ladies. And these are ladies who, like, one of them, this was my very first time to actually connect with her on a one-to-one basis, essentially. But she's been coming on our book clubs and she has had phenomenal success. And we're going to bring her on the screen first so you can hear from her. So Julianne, we are super excited to have you here. And I know this is so outside your comfort zone. So please, guys, like, show so much love for Julianne. This is not easy to do, but I know that she's going to inspire so many of you. So first and foremost, Julianne, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
You're muted, so...
You're muted.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes,
We
we
can.
can.
So I joined the business. So I'm a mummy of two. I'm also a hairdresser. I've got a baby on the way. I'm 5 months pregnant. And sorry, I'm just going to put this on charge. I'm so sorry. And
You're fine.
I joined the business in January 2020. I got in touch with Christina, who's my upline, and she started telling me about it. And I was like, I don't care. Just let me join. Just let me join. But I found that my mindset for the whole year wasn't what it should be. Like, I'd do weeks where I would do really well. I'd post all the time, and then I would just think, oh, this isn't working. It's not working. I don't like, it's not going to work for me, kind of thing. And then November 3rd of November this year, I actually lost my job. So I was like, oh, crap. So I had 2 days where, stop me if you want to ask me anything else. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, keep going.
I have a habit of doing that, so I'm really sorry. So I lost my job, and I had like, I think 3 days where I was just crying and what am I going to do? And then I just thought, I have to spin this around. I have to make a negative out of a positive. And I just thought, well, let's do that then. Just stop being negative. Everything, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So I was like, okay, our group was talking about 6 a.m. club. I love mornings. I love getting up early. I love that peace for just me in the morning. So this just sounded ideal for me. So I got on, and I think I was a bit hit and miss for the first week, just from getting back into a routine again. And then I was craving getting up in the mornings. I was like, I'd lie in bed and I think, right, it's 5:30, right, get up. 5:30, get up. And then I found myself now waking up before 5:30 because I'm enjoying the routine. And what I'm finding is my mindset is just so much better. I think losing my job was the best thing to happen, because I feel like now I'm the happiest I've ever been. And joining the 6 a.m. club and reading Larry's book is just changing my mindset completely. I'm so positive. I'm trying to get my team to be positive. Anything that I'm learning from you guys and from the book, I'm passing on. It's just, 6 a.m. club and the book has just done my mindset such a wonder. Like, it's just incredible how much I've changed, and I don't feel like it's going to change. I feel like I can only get better. Yes. Because I need to get better, because I haven't got a job anymore and I need to make this work. And it's not only helping in this job, but as my self-employed job as a hairdresser is working that side as well. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I wanted to share, my daughter came up to each and every one of us, my family, and said, so what are you grateful for? And I was like, she's 4. And I was like, oh, it's working.
Amazing, Julianne. Absolutely
Incredible.
Amazing. And the thing about it is, you, like, when I was speaking to Amanda, you were thinking, I just put on a couple of orders, because you've got another baby on the way, but all of a sudden now your vision has changed because your belief has changed also. And you have a completely different idea of where you're going, because you're part of the El Paso experience. You've raised your hand and you're like, I'm all in for the El Paso experience. So
sorry, also, I always envision what I want. Like, you always tell us to set goals and really envision everything you want. And I do that all the time. I'm walking, I'm chatting away to myself, and I'm in the place where I want to be. But I never knew how to get there. I never worked out the steps. And in your 6 a.m. club, you're always saying the stepping stones. And so every morning now, my stepping stones and then my goal at the end of when I get there. And it's just, now I'm like, this was so easy. This was so simple. why did I not do this before?
Because we only know what we know, and that's the beautiful thing about, you know, I suppose if Larry hadn't never have written the book, none of us would know all of this, and we wouldn't know the fundamentals, and we wouldn't have the concepts that he teaches. And what would you say, like, is from the book is one of the things that really stands out to you, one of the, you know, chapters or something that, you know, you've learned from it that you're like, oh my God, every time I hear that, it's just, it kind of reminds you?
It's just the not giving up part.
Yeah.
Just to keep going, because you'll always find someone that will want to be in the business or want the products. Even if you talk to 50 people, you're going to find 5 out of that 50.
Yes.
And they're the like little gems that you want.
Yes.
They're the ones that are going to turn your business around and make you go to where you want to go. So for me, it's just about consistency, because that is the key.
Yes,
a
million percent, Julianne.
And I think that's the importance of even like listening to the El Paso story, because you can see Larry never gave up. He kept going through all the struggles that he had until he got to number 53, and then it completely transformed him. And not only did it transform him, it transformed the whole network marketing industry, because he did not give up. And I think that adds a lot of hope to people when sometimes maybe they're struggling at the start when their network marketing business, and seeing like, if Larry was able to do it where he has come from, I can keep pushing through because I'm going to get to my number 53.
And I can see the comments. They're saying you're so inspiring to us all, Julianne. We can see the change in you. You're amazing. Very well done. And so it's not just you that's feeling it. People are actually seeing it in you. So your mindset, your attitude, like Larry talks about in the book, it has changed, which means that you're on a different level. So you are attracting, you know, success. But one thing that you said about the consistency, and if you speak to 50 people, you'll get 5. I remember, you know, speaking to Larry very early on, and he said, the best I ever got was 2 out of 10. And that was so refreshing, because I thought that, oh my God, I'm in the business, you know, this amount of time, I should be getting 9 out of 10 people. But to hear the truth from someone that has had so much success, I think that makes us all realize, okay, we can all do this, but we can't, you know, it's not that there's something missing in us. It's just we're not speaking to enough people. That's plain and simple.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Julianne, we're so excited to see where the next 90 days are going to bring you. And I'm sure Larry and Taylor we'll love to have you back on after our first El Paso experience to see exactly where you're at. So guys, 5 months pregnant and is making this work. She's self-employed. It goes to show you that when your desire is there, you will make the time. You can build it in pockets of time. So thank you so much, Julianne.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you.
Amazing. So we're going to go across to Michelle. So we're coming back to Ireland. We were over in the UK. We're coming back to Ireland.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle.
Over this way. There we go.
This is a RoboCop.
It's so great to have you.
This is a RoboCop. She was out fighting fire.
It was today. Well, I got through it anyway.
Amazing, Michelle. So will you tell everybody a little bit of your background first and foremost, where you're from, what you do, and then you can share a little bit about what the book club has done for you.
So I am a mom of 2. I work full-time. Seamus gave it away there. I am a police sergeant in charge of a district, and all this week I was doing something completely different. I was riot training and running through fire and being petrol bombed today. So this is like a welcomed break from all of that. The book club for me has changed my whole perspective on life in so many ways, and I don't say that lightly. I joined the business to support my sister. I had started on the products and I find them fantastic, but I joined the business to support my sister because she needed a teamie, and I really didn't know what I was getting into, to be honest, and I'm an awful skeptic, and only that it was her, I would never have joined. But when I joined, it was only the end of August, and you both had started the book club, and I came in on chapter 2 of the book club, and that first morning, I just, it was like, come on, feed me more of this. I want more of this. It's fantastic. So the very first sentence in that book that Larry said in his 1981 speech was, "It's easier to be successful than make a living." And that, like, it brought me straight back to, being a child in the 80s, and I was the eldest of 6, and my dad worked, my mom stayed at home, and I remember our ESB bills coming in, our electricity bills coming in, or our telephone bills coming in, or asking for money for a school tour or whatever it was, and I could hear her speak to my dad going, "Oh my God, we pay some of it this month and we pay some of it next month." And I remember thinking, for God's sake, why are my parents, why don't we just have money? Why are they worrying about bills? It's ridiculous. My dad works, and we're supposed to be fine with all of this. So, and I've said this before, in my head, I grew up with absolute notions. I lived in the clouds when it came to, my dreams. It was, I always wanted more. I wanted more than what my parents had themselves. But I didn't know how to make that happen. I really didn't. So roll on a few years and I joined the police service. And I'm in a pensionable job. Like you, Mary, you think, okay, I have a pensionable job, I have a secure income, everything is going to be fine. And that's all it is. It's fine. And you work your backside off and you go for your promotions and you hit them, and then you get a measly advance in your wages, and it just goes like that. So it was another thing that Larry said that morning, and it was that very first morning on the call, and it was, you can only have what you are, but you can have more than what you are now. And I'm just going to say that again because it's so important. You can only have what you are, but you can have more than what you are now. So right there and then, it was a light bulb moment for me. It was, hold on a minute. They're talking about this, average income, and if I want an above average income, I can have an above average income. But how does this happen? I can't do this in my job at the minute. I can't have an above average income. It's just average. And no matter how hard I work, and I am above average in my job, but I'm always just going to have just that average income. And I was fed up with it. And that's what he said. Go take responsibility. Take responsibility for your own income. Stop waiting for everyone else to tell you how to change. I've got to change. The change is in me. Right, I'm where I am now, and that's my income. But like the El Paso story, there is so much more out there. And the gold mine attitude, go get your shovel. Go get your shovel and dig and get more. And that's what I am doing. And in 90 days, my attitude has changed completely. I have increased my income. I have challenged myself to something that I never, ever thought this would be me, ever. And more importantly than that, I am having so much fun. I'm having so much fun connecting with people. I'm having so much fun telling people, okay, this is where I came from. This is my story. This is working for me. This can work for you. And it absolutely can. And another thing he said in the book was in relation to, and I know Taylor has said this on numerous occasions on the Wealth Academy, and she talks about it does not matter where you come from. So it doesn't matter that I came from a one income family, and the money was stretched, always stretched. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what skills I have. Makes absolutely no odds at all. What matters is your belief in yourself. It is what you truly believe. I want more. I believe I deserve more. I'm a nice person. I want nice things for people. I want to help people. I'm entitled to more. We're all entitled to more. And the only person that puts us in a box or limits ourselves is us. Nobody else does this. It's just us, and it's in our head. So it does not matter where you are. It doesn't matter right now where you are in your life. If you feel it in your heart that you deserve more and that you want more, well, get up and start taking responsibility for you, for your income, get your challenges, and you know what? Just go have fun. Just go have fun. That's all I can say.
Wow.
You can definitely feel her excitement on this call. What? Oh my God.
Like, Michelle, that is phenomenal. And you have reached 4 promotions in 90 days. Like 4 promotions in 90 days. And do you think, Michelle, just one more question, would you have read the book yourself, do you think? Or do you believe that?
No, Mary, this is the book. This is the last book I have read. It's called Corporate Governance. Oh, dear God. Okay, it is the most boring book ever. I got no fun out of this book. I learned nothing out of it, absolutely nothing, but I had to do it. But this book is life-changing. It is, and do you know what? As good as the book is, listen to the tapes.
Yes.
Listen to Larry's voice and the way he speaks, and you can feel it. You would love to be back there in that audience, because you would definitely come out fired up, going, get out of my way, like, just move, I am going to take over this world.
Yes. And you definitely are. Like, you've had an incredible month. Like, your business is on fire, and it's so unusual. Like, you're just so new in the business, but you've grasped this with both hands, and you really understand like everything that Larry teaches in this book. You really believe it, and you're putting it to action, and it is showing through in your business.
But it's so simple, Seamus. It's so simple. What are we being asked to do? I'm not being asked to read boring reams of something that actually does not apply in my life at all. I am just asked to go and find dissatisfied people, and let's face it, everyone is dissatisfied with something. Everybody. Not everyone is going to do this for income. The income is brilliant, but they're not all in it for income. The community, oh my God, our team is just superb. It is superb. And I've said this before as well. I am part of, the police service is a huge family, and it's all about teamwork, and it is all about having each other's back and family, and you're going to make the best friends of your life, and that's all true. But this team, to me, has shown me more growth. I have grown in myself. I am so much more open. My mind isn't closed anymore, and I believe so much more in myself. And it's because everything you do, somebody is there to cheer. Everybody is there to cheer you on. You're getting messages, you're getting phone calls, we're on our lives, and we are living this book, and we are living the community, and it is just amazing. And for anyone out there who's listening to me thinking, oh, you're one, I don't know what she's on, but she's way OTT. By nature, I was definitely a skeptic. That's the way it was. And this would have been, if it wasn't hard, it wasn't worth it. So if you weren't, oh my God, like if you weren't really struggling to make things happen, well then it just wasn't worth it. You weren't working hard enough. It had to be tough to make it. This isn't tough. This is not tough. This is so flippin' simple. If people will just listen to what you have to do. Take the product, see the benefits in the product, go tell people about the benefits. Simple. And be genuine. Be genuine in that. Tell people exactly what it is. And there you go. That's it. It works.
Incredible.
To think that you joined to support your sister, and look at you now. And I remember,
who would like to have a sister like that join to support you in your business?
And the thing about it is, I remember Karen saying, oh, Michelle, I know she'd be brilliant, but she's like, I'm not interested in building a business. I'm only doing this to support Amanda. And look at you now. And I just want to say, Amanda was asked to speak on a corporate call, a huge corporate call, which is your sister. And I can see her on tonight. And I was so emotional on that call because she has metabolized the 6 pillars.
Just the way Michelle has.
She has metabolized this book. I have never heard someone who's only in the business 5 months. So
this was the first time she'd ever done a corporate call.
She's only in the business 5 months at this stage, and she blew everybody away by how simple she was making it, but how she has metabolized it. And these ladies, they don't know any other way. This is what excites me even more, because you just don't know anything else. You just don't have the baggage that we had.
You haven't had to unlearn any bad habits. You have just come in straight away with this, and you can see how your business is on fire, the multiplication that you're having throughout your business. Your business is skyrocketing at the minute.
So thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on and sharing from the heart. As you can see, guys, this is why we decided to start the book club. We had no idea if it was going to work for us. But if you don't try, you don't know. And it's probably one of the greatest decisions that we ever made, because we're doing it together. The energy that is on that call is phenomenal. And what I believe we're doing is we're giving people first thing in the morning a hope for a better today. And a better today can turn into a better tomorrow. A better tomorrow can turn into a better week. A better week turns into a better month. A better month turns into a better year. Starting your morning off, immersing yourself in this book, if you want to, could perhaps change your mindset, your positivity, and your bank balance, just like it has Julianne and Michelle. Got no idea, but neither do you unless you try. So, Larry, I don't know if you want to come on and talk about El Paso.
I do.
Yeah.
First of all, Mary, James, I am so proud of you. And yes, because of your growth, I know that you guys, when you started with us after a few years in your business, that you were kind of stuck for a couple of years at a 4-figure income. You know, it was in the high 4 figures, but you were there. And now, okay, you've gone to high 5-figure incomes. Now, it has taken a year and a half, but we didn't have anything. And you guys have been such a staple item. And here's something to understand. There's probably, I can safely say, in the community that's listening right now, 30 different companies that are represented here. This isn't just a company. This is an academy. This is a community that we work together. And this community, even though you may be with company A and some can be with company B, they do trainings together, okay? Because it's all on the fundamentals. So thank you guys so much. And I'm going to talk about El Paso now, and I want to talk about what's going. It's taken us 18 months to get to where we are today. A year ago is when we started with all the elements, the 3 elements. That was designed. What we have been doing for the last year since we put the book, and then we had the clubbing, and then we had the academy. It's been for the 80%ers. Now, what do I mean by that? Most of you know, but for those of you that don't, the foundation of our space. The foundation of our space. And listen, I understand the foundation of this thing. People can talk about it. I lived it, okay? And living it right this minute, okay? We'll have any debates, any conversations you want, but it's impossible to say that the stuff that we're sharing and teaching doesn't work. With $2 billion companies, with the stories that you heard here, with a minimum of 30 on this broadcast companies represented, this stuff works every single time. But guess what we had to do? The same thing I had to do when we started with Herbalife. The same thing when we started working with PM. We had to take a focus group and start teaching them the basic fundamentals until they could grow. You just can't take a baby and put them on a bicycle. You just can't take a person on a bicycle and get them to start driving a race car. It's not complicated. It's the same things you do for an 80%er, what only wants to make and are very happy with about $500 a month. 80% of your team is going to be like that. 80% of the network marketing space is like that. 80%, and this is big, gig workers want that. And there's over 70 million of them in America that are actively looking for you right now to say, I have something that maybe, just perhaps, could possibly be something that you want to do. Would you like to hear about it? They'll raise their hand, guys. They're looking for you. 80% of that gig workers that are out there today, 80% of the people in the network marketing space, okay? 80%, okay? Let me tell you something. Happy with $500 a month. And they don't want to go big or go home. They don't want Lamborghini bikini. That's not them. These people that you're hearing from started off like that. I started off like that, okay? I never believed this could happen like me. Taylor never believed that it could happen like that. Now that we've got these basic fundamentals, and there's only a half a dozen of them, listen, there's only a half a dozen of them, and most of you right now are very proficient at these half a dozen things. And I'm not talking about TikTok, and I'm not talking about Instagram, and I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about fundamentals. Run. If it's baseball, American baseball, there's fundamentals. Run, hit, catch, throw. Okay, that is it. If you're in the military, there's only a half a dozen things that you got to pay attention to. Okay, only a half a dozen. You got to pay attention to those. And if you go there, then it can happen. And in the military, what do you get? You got privates, you got sergeants, you got colonels, you got all the different things. And 80% of the military, okay, is support, and they're happy with those fundamentals. So that the 15% in our space doesn't want just $500 a month. They want $500 a week, and then they want $500 a day. What's the difference between $500 a month, a week, and a day? It is not the skill set. It's desire and willingness. The skill set, most of you already have. You just got to give yourself the authority to use that skill set. For example, you have the skill set if you're a parent for self-responsibility, okay? You have self-leadership right now. You don't have to learn how to walk on hot coals. You already have the leadership. You got self-responsibility if you're a parent. You got self-responsibility if you have a job and you're good at it. Self-responsibility, self-determination, self-motivation, so that you're self-functioning. You have those skills right this minute. You don't have to get taller. You don't have to get shorter. You don't have to. Simplicity is a strategy. And Taylor, what she adds to this thing, she can take Larry talk and turn it into woman talk all day long. And 70% of our space is women, okay? So here's what I'm trying to communicate. We're now to a point, 1 year in, year and a half for marrying Seamus with those 5 people, okay, with those 5 people. Now, 2022 is not about 80%ers. You know how to, all of that, they're out there, they're having babies. They're having babies, you understand, okay? It's not about 80%ers. We got that cemented. You may want to do the book club like marrying Seamus, and I'm going to tell you something, you're going to try it, and it's going to be miserable for you because it's not you, okay? It's not you. You got to do the things that are you, okay? And so the 80%ers we've got that covered for you. We got that covered in the academy. We got that covered in the book, our clubby. We got that covered in the book and the audit. We got that covered for you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about training people. You don't have to worry about that. But now, here's what we're going to start. Okay, the 15 and the 5 focus group. If you want to be part of the 15 and the 5 focus group, 15 and 5, 500 a month, a week, and 500 a day, plus. Okay, if you want to be that, we've got to go through the process, the same thing that we went through with Mary and Seamus and what we've been working on for the last year. So we're starting a new focus group. We're not going to go out here and say, okay, everybody is going to be part of this. It's going to get rich and going to make 5, going to go out here and do that. But I'm going to read just a little something here. You guys can go out here and you can apply right now. Go to your academy. You got to be in the academy. Okay. Got to have the Zoom recruiter. Say, what is that? That's nothing. Okay. No cost whatsoever to speak of. Okay. You be there and you say that you want to be part of this El Paso experience. For January, February, March, we're going to take you through the El Paso experience, okay, that I went through to learn that I was tall enough, I was short enough, I was young enough, I was old enough, okay? Even though I had tears on my pillow and was scared to death, I could make this happen. And you can experience that, right? You can experience it today. We're going to ask you to go into the academy, and on your dashboard, you'll see a place where you can sign up for the El Paso experience, okay? If you're in the academy, you're all set, okay? The only thing you're going to have to do is pick up the Zoom recruiter, and that's $10 a month, I think it is. No big deal, okay? But here, it's going to ask you to fill out an application, okay? And this application isn't for us. It's for you, okay? Yes, it's going to be for us to put you in the community so we can share with you, okay, and communicate with you. And here's what it's going to say on the application, not the application, whatever that is, okay? It says, I, as a long-haired hippie construction worker, I, as a lady school teacher, okay? I, as the carpenter, I, as a lady truck driver, okay? I understand that for the El Paso experience to work for me, that I need to commit to doing my very best, not do it, do your very best, okay, for the first 90 days. The El Paso experience is about daily method of operation in Sinaloa. You guys know what that is. It's in the book. It's in everything, okay? And law of averages. I understand that I may be uncomfortable at first. I guarantee you I was, okay? And while implementing these changes in my own behavior, and that it is part of the growing process, you will have the full support of your own peers and full support of the community members of multiple companies that are going through the same thing like you are. And there's no cross-recruiting. That doesn't happen, okay? You're supporting your peers and community members. You won't be the only one going through this growth process. And yes, I understand and mentally prepared that I may shed a tear or two on my pillow at night. If you guys have watched El Paso, you know what that means. But I might have shared a tear or two on my pillow at night when things don't go exactly as planned. Because I got to tell you something, 54 years in business, I tell you that I rarely do. May not go as exactly as planned, but I know that it is only temporary and it's part of the growing process. We plan on meeting weekly via Zoom, okay? That's how we started with Mary and Seamus. We work with that team, those 5 people, on a weekly basis. January, February, March, we're going to be meeting with everybody that's going to El Paso with us on a weekly basis. And we're not talking TikTok. We're not talking Instagram. We're talking about fundamentals. TikTok and all those things change, okay? They change. And it's always something new. Nothing wrong with that. But you learn how to do this, and if you're good with social media, you adapt the audience, language, and behavior, and you do phenomenally well, okay? The problem with social media is it's personality-driven, okay? And with personality-driven, you got to have a personality that can do that. You heard from Michelle here, and Michelle was saying, oh, my goodness, you know what I mean? I would not be able to do that. All right, what happened here, okay? Let me finish here. So we're going to go to El Paso, okay? And I understand there may be some tears on the pillow, okay? And let me find my thing right back here. And it's going to take me some time, and it will provide me, I got to provide the effort to become a better me at doing the 3 Ps. Remember what the 3 Ps are? Positioning your product properly, okay? Not complicated, it's simple. Posturing what you need to do, it's simple. Presentation, which is what everybody freaks out at. What do I say? How do I say it? What about this? Is the easiest part about it if you understand the audience, language, and behavior, okay? And present my opportunity at others. I'm just giving you it's something like this. This was a draft, but you'll see it. So if those of you that want to be part of El Paso experience, go to El Paso with us. We're going to have our very first deep dive for the El Paso group on the 7th of December. For those of you that go in and fill out your application here, okay, and say, this is me, we want you, okay? I don't care if you have, when you're dialing in on the application, I don't care if you got tears of doubt and fear running down your cheek and dripping on your keypad. Okay, if you've got the desire, okay, and the willingness, okay, teachability is the easiest part. There's only a few things you have to learn. Desire and the willingness. The book is great. The audios are great. The academy is great. But you've got to be able to have the community that goes with it, okay? That's global. For some of you, you have a global opportunity. Okay, we're starting in South America with this now, guys. Oh my goodness. We're deep in Europe, okay? Asia's starting to pick up, okay? It's just amazing what is taking place here. So for those of you that want to be part of this El Paso experience, it's the 15 and the 5. We've got established, we've validated it. It's going to be there for you. It is not going away. I want you to think about how many people you have on your team that would get benefit out of what you heard from the 80% group. Today was an 80% group. I understand there's 3 and 4 and 5 promotion, but they're small promotion and it has bonus. You guys all know the deal, okay? But you got to understand it's on the path to making $500 a month on a consistent basis. Fun, simple, magical. That's what it's all about. So we're going to now push it up, and we're going to take that same model that I've used for all these years, okay? That's done. Listen, there would not be an industry if it wasn't for these guys in the book. And they went through the same thing that I did, and they went through the same thing that you're going to be going through. But I promise you, when we go to El Paso, you may have the tears on the pillow of doubt, but I'm going to tell you right now, you won't be alone. You're going to have Taylor and I with you. You're going to have this whole community with you, no matter what your company is, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what it is. And we'll guide you through that, and we'll show you how to put this thing together and simplify this thing and make it run in a way that you envision it in your mind. So what is El Paso about? 15 percenters and 5 percenters. Now, I know as soon as I say that, there are a lot of you say, I want in, and you're going to go do it, okay? Listen, I need you to consider, are you really willing to go through El Paso the way that I went through El Paso? Okay, the way that the guys in the book went through the Paso, the way that Taylor went through El Paso, the way that Mary Seamus went through El Paso, okay? You'll come out the other side. You'll come out the other side with the basic fundamental skills that will be with you forever. Instead of TikTok, it may be Talk Tick in the future. Instead of Instagram, it could be Gram Instant. I got no idea. But no matter what it is, okay, you're going to have these basic fundamentals, okay, of being able to employ yourself. Listen, as simple as that is, you don't know how to employ yourself. Nobody knows how to employ themselves when they get started with this. You need a Larry 1 and a Larry 2 like I did. Seamus needed Seamus 1 and Seamus 2. Mary needed Mary 1 and Mary 2, okay? Michelle needed Michelle 1 and Michelle 2. You got to, those simple things. They're simple things. Am I excited? You bet your life I'm excited. Am I committed? No, Taylor and I are so jacked up about this because it's taken us this long to get here, okay? And let me tell you something. I'm going to give you a little history lesson here, okay? We started off with these concepts with Herbalife in 1980. Okay, we only did 2 million our first year. Okay, we did 10 million our second year. Okay, and that second year is when we didn't call it El Paso. We didn't have these technological tools, but we put that in place our second year and went to 5 times growth. Okay, guess what the next year was? 6 times growth. And then guess what? We're running $100 million a month in our 4th year. And it was not technique laden. It was not personality driven. It was lady school teacher. It was the waitress. It was the truck driver. It was the carpet cleaner. It was a long-haired hippie construction worker like me and the single mom like Taylor being able to go out there and make the business work. So for those of you that want to go this, if you're in the academy, go to your front page and you'll see this thing. If you're not in the academy yet, okay, maybe this is not for you right now. It doesn't matter. We're not here to sell books. We're not here to sell the academy. Come on, give me a break. What is this? $10? Okay. What is the audio tape? $10. What's the consumer recruiter? $10. What's the monthly price for the academy? It's nothing. Okay. It's nothing. So it isn't that. It's about your thinking. Okay. I will tell you right now, I was so close to quitting in El Paso, and I did not have the support. There was no such thing back then. You know what I had? I had the tape of Bobby DePue's training, the original strategist and tactician of the space, and Jim Rohn's training. Most of you know Jim Rohn and I joined the same company the same night at the same meeting. Okay. Most of you know that. But I had those 3 hours of Jim and those 3 hours of Bobby. And I would go in and I would be listening to those at night. You know why? There was no television. It was on past 10 o'clock at that time. And that's hard to believe. Okay. There was nobody to do it. And I would find those 4, 5, 6, 7 minute little things that met me where I was. Seamus said it. Every time they listen to this, every time they read this, they get something different. Why? Because they're different. And I got down and got those 5, 6, 7 minutes, and I'd play it back, rewind it, rewind. I would go to sleep at night with that tape recorder like that, okay? Until I said, wait a minute, this thing makes sense to me. And if it makes sense to me, I should stick with it. I was scared to death. You guys can go watch El Paso. You can watch it. I can't talk about it. It's too emotional for me. Okay. But you can go watch it on the side. So anyway, guys, on behalf of Taylor, who's not here today, but I will tell you right now, she's thinking about you. Okay. And I couldn't have a better partner, a better wife, a better support. She makes me look so much better than I am on these broadcasts and everything we do. And it's just amazing, her effect on my life. And it's just something to have this kind of group. I want you to think about it again. When I say a minimum of 30 companies represented here, okay, right now, today, that's conservative, okay? Who's going to lead that company? Mary and Seamus did. Fastest growing group in their company. New promotion, the fastest. 75 days in, they were ready to quit. 75 days in El Paso, I was this close to quitting, okay? 75 days in. But there was something about that message that kept me moving. And that message I got away with. And I want you to get away with it the way Mary Seamus got away with it. I want you to get away with it the way that Michelle got away with it here and Julianne got away with it. So that's it for me, guys. And Tuesday, the 7th, I think it'll be 2 p.m. It'll be listed up there, 2 p.m. Central Time, so that you can accommodate the calendar around the world, because this is a global effect. You guys get going on it if you want it. Give us 90 days, January, February, March, and here's what I want to leave you with. What you do today doesn't show up in the result column today. It's tomorrow. Taylor talks about it with the water hose. When you turn on the water hose and it's curled up and you turn on the water, it takes a while to get the water to come out the other end, okay? It takes a while, okay? It's going to take us 90 days to get through El Paso like I did with that absolute confidence for the next 54 years. You'll be able to guide everybody through what you've gone through, because you know if you can do it, they can do it. And there's only a few things to learn. The rest of it is desire and willing. So one more time, the difference between 500 a month and 500 a week and 500 a day is not skill. You will have, it's the same skill to make 500, which you've heard plenty about here, as it does a week and a day. It takes the same as it does a month. There's no difference. How can it be any different? There is no difference, okay? It's consistency, and you heard that right out of the words of Julianne here today. That's all it is, okay? Anyway, guys, that's it for me. And I'm sorry about going overtime here, and Cotley, it's really overtime. And Taylor's not with me, so I didn't get kicked today, because she's always kicking me because I'm talking too long and all of that stuff. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So that's it. And I don't know how we end these things except to say goodbye and see you on Tuesday for those of you that are ready. And if you're not ready now, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 90 days time, we can, we'd be able to figure out a way to get you going, just like we did with everybody through this experience. Okay? Anyway, let's go. Let's get the job done. All right. Adios, everybody.